because that's what made the Civil War in our country. That's the tactics they used.
Oh, right.
They moved everything from Napoleonic tactics over to what we do, and we still use it today. Like where he does like the square thing with the horses to fight off the cavalry when a cavalry charge happens. Remember that scene?
Mm-hmm.
He did that. Normally that's a defense mechanism. He utilized that as an attack mechanism.
It's amazing.
Would break those guys
they still
out.
like study that.
Yeah, and they still study it, and it's still studied at West Point today.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. How those tactics are still used for like modern day combat, like Napoleonic tactics.
Yeah,
like still apply.
Well, you mentioned the Civil War. I know my room just got dark.
It's nice and sexy.
In Gettysburg, I was listening to Shane Gillis, Bob, talk about this moment in Gettysburg where someone's formation was in the shape of a J, like a hook.
Yeah, that was Confederate formation.
So the Confederates were standing like a J.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Then up on a ridge about a half a mile away from where the Union forces were.
Long street, long dick.
And did like the Union get like like how did that shape of a J, how was that like effective?
Because they could, with the J shape, they could be more efficient with their forces in that kind of shape, because you have a combined source of forces right there, and you could push one line out and you still have another line then come back out after that, and you have all the resources, and you put that in the most vulnerable part of your line. So when you get attacked, you can push one line out and then push another line out and crush them.
Okay.
But
Bob knows. That's interesting, man. That they
didn't work.
I love that.
Anticipated that.
Also, too, it wasn't so much a creation of what they wanted to do. It was more of a creation of what the Union Army did to them. And Union Army dug in to the mountaintops over top of Gettysburg, and that's what Clark alluded to there.
Is that where Jeff Daniels was in the mountaintops in the movie?
Yes, the round top. Yep.
Bayonets!
And
what
we
movie?
dug in
Glory?
on the mountain.
Gettysburg.
Oh, Gettysburg.
And General Longstreet, who was the second general in command of the rebel army, told Lee basically, like, we don't have the high ground here. And they were actually positioned between the Union Army and Washington, D.C. He's like, let's just go attack Washington, or at least retreat back there and make them fight us on our ground, because they fucked up the ground.
It makes sense.
In the first 2 days of battle.
Right.
Bob, is that why Lee was so adamant about staying in Gettysburg and was kind of stubborn? Bayonets! Because he knew, like, was he trying to save face? Like, why didn't they retreat and regroup?
He was very confident after Chancellorsburg.
Steamrolling them.
Where he was literally probably 35 minutes from crushing the Union Army.
Yeah.
For good?
Daylight, yeah, for good. It would have been it. Would have been it. Win the whole war.
We would have had some. I can't make that joke. If that tide would turn, someone else would be cutting a lawn today, and it wouldn't be Bob.
Would we have the rebel flag? Would that be our flag, or would it still be this one?
I don't know. It's a good question.
What if Gettysburg, God forbid, what if the Union lost Gettysburg? Would they have lost the war?
They wouldn't have lost the war. It would have been a protracted conflict that would have then pushed out more towards the west, probably. And we would have been two countries like East and West.
Oh, damn.
That's what would have happened.
Wow.
And Lee was incredibly insightful when he surrendered his army to Grant at Appomattox in April of 1865. He could have taken his army and put them in the Appalachian Mountains and just had them conduct guerrilla
warfare, like Hitler tried to do.
Yeah,
at the end of the war,
Hamas
and they were like,
and Israel.
"We're not doing this."
Yeah, Hamas and Israel. Same thing.
Yeah, I remember Hitler and Band of Brothers. They were like,
yeah,
well, Hitler was going to put him in the Alps and be like, just do guerrilla warfare, and his generals and stuff were like,
yeah,
well, we lost the war. It's over.
It's winter time, though.
Yeah, like we're not
cold,
winter,
like forever.
Winter has come.
Winter,
yeah, right?
So Bob, Russia, the Appomattox Courthouse, Lee knew like the jig's up. Like we're done.
Yeah,
we're toast.
Yeah, and the terms that Grant presented to him were very favorable to the South as well, saying that you can have your horses, your guns, and just go back and live your
rebuild.
Life. Yeah.
And that's where the Reconstruction period started.
Yeah, but unfortunately, then it was 2 days later, Abraham Lincoln gets assassinated, and Andrew Johnson becomes our president, and he was
a
not
Dixiecrat.
He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And Grant actually.
Now hold on there, darkies. Not so fast.
It reminds me of like the Django scene where it's like, I can't see shit out of this thing.
Now you just now that's not going to pay me. No, never mind.
Like we don't need to blame anybody about the hoods.
Tongues.
We don't need to blame anybody. But next time we do it better.
We do. Now just hold on. Buford Buchanan.
There's some red tape that we must skip over before you can all go run free willy-nilly about the country.
Yeah.
Have you boys seen the movie All the Way with Bryan Cranston playing Lyndon Johnson? It's like maybe 10 years old, but the Dixiecrats are in there in the 60s, and they, like Bob said, they were real pieces of shit. The South used to be like ruthless Democrats, even up to like 50 years ago. It was crazy. Yeah.
It's not the same Democratic Party as today, and it's not fair to even compare them to that.
They wanted to be like Europe.
It's
yeah,
they wanted the.
We were like, no, fuck, we're different.
It was by that time it was 90 years of subjugation of the black population in the South. So they were empowered. They had everything behind them, and Grant. Actually, before he even became president, during Andrew Johnson's presidency, when he was still in the Union Army, was trying to put that down with the voting and all that stuff, because they wouldn't even allow blacks to vote. So Grant would have to drive his army in there and be like, "Yeah."
Oh, really? Like he had to enforce?
Yes.
Interesting.
And
I didn't know that.
Grant, the guy who was friends with Booker T.
Booker T. Sojourner Truth.
But you know who else was a big? I'm starting to read a book on that. Is Longstreet.
Oh, nice.
Second in command, Confederate general.
Apparently, he was like one of the most gifted generals like in history.
Yes, and he became an advocate for Union rights in the South with black voting and things like that.
Yeah, he was a statesman after the war.
Yeah,
like
they hated him.
They hated him. Yeah, he lived until if I'm not mistaken, he lived until like the 1900s, like maybe 1910
I think he died
or something.
Like 1909 or something. 19.
Yeah,
and
like he hung most of those From what I understand, a lot of those generals they like just went away.
He was a pallbearer at General Grant's funeral in 1876.
That's amazing. And he was played by. Who was he playing in Gettysburg?
In Gettysburg. Oh,
Gettysburg.
Yeah. Oh, this
the guy from Platoon.
This is gonna ruin me now.
But he's
Look it up.
He's like one of the best. He's my favorite character in the movie. Tom Berenger.
Yes, Tom Berenger, and he's telling Lee to. We don't have the high ground here at Gettysburg. Let's go back and try to fight them on some other land closer to D.C.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's awesome. You're reading that book, man. You got to let me know how it is. I'm gonna pick that up after this Napoleon one.
Yeah, I think it's a little. It might be, what I don't like is some of these history books I read are slanted, in terms of today's
They're sympathizers.
Yeah, like not even like sympathizers, but just woke. Like, you're not.
Is it woke?
Yeah.
It's inclusive.
I don't know about that.
It has an agenda.
Is it gender neutral?
Yeah.
Gender fluid.
It's actually transgender.
Is it gender fluid?
But what I don't like about these history books, there we go, is that they're framed in the time that they're written in, which is right now. And that's why I love buying older books and seeing them from their time.
Unbiased.
Them totally unbiased. And you just get,
Bob, I just read a book, or I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook on the Libby app. The movie The Pacific that Tom Hanks and Spielberg produced, the sequel to Band of Brothers.
Excellent series.
Something for my helmet, a helmet for my pillow. And it was written in the 50s by the guy that was actually in the war.
Yeah.
And excellent series. And it was
that's what you need to read. That's what you need to focus on. Like, not the shit that comes out now. Like, I'll still read the shit that comes out now, but I do it within, understanding that refracted lens. So
yeah, good. I couldn't agree more.
So what series are you talking about?
The Pacific on HBO.
Oh, the Pacific. It came out. I want to say it was like 2010.
Dude, it came out like 2010. Yeah, it's old.
Dude, I watched the first episode of Band of Brothers for the first time.
Oh,
David Schwimmer.
Best miniseries ever.
Yes,
because that new one's coming out with Elvis.
Yeah, Heroes of the Sky or whatever.
Looks pretty awesome.
Yes. Heroes of the Sky.
Pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Crazy.
It's got the guy that played Elvis in it, I think.
Yeah.
Hanksy. He's behind it again.
Yeah, Hanksy's all about those. There's actually a Band of Brothers podcast, and he's on one of the episodes. It's like 2 hours long, talking about the production and everything. And he knows his shit, from like Saving Private Ryan and all that. They really put a lot of time.
I also love what Tom Hanks did with the space program and pushing forward.
Jim Lovell.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And he also made From the Earth to the Moon, which is a program on HBO as well. Which
Houston, we have a problem.
Us from literally just trying to get into space and to setting foot on the moon. So
interesting.
It's excellent, and Tom Hanks really does a good job.
Yeah, but John, let me know what you think of Band of Brothers. I just rewatched it maybe like a month ago. It's still, I visit that probably once a year. It's just so
blown
good.
away by Schwimmer being like the antagonist in the
Captain
beginning.
Sobel.
And Brody from Homeland.
Yeah. Those eyes, man.
And that was, John, that was before they did all that.
I know, it's crazy because I remember that show being like on HBO. So, I was in college and I never got to like watch it, I don't think. And I just kept pushing it off.
After 9/11. Like, I think that it premiered like right before 9/11. So it was kind of like.
I was in college.
It was like a weird time.
HBO. Oh, weird.
Let me know. Yeah, let me know what you think of that. That's Damian Lewis's character. Dick Winters, he lived in Pennsylvania, like Hershey, his whole life. He's like from there. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
I didn't know that. That's really neat.
Clip here.
They got to be tired, the Revs. They got to be close to the end if we are. So fix bayonets. Ellis, you take
Harry.
the left wing. I'll take the right. I want to move forward to the whole regiment.
What, you mean charge?
Yes, but here's what we do. We're going to charge swinging down the hill. Just like we pulled back to this left side of the regiment, now we're going to swing it down. We swing like
this is how Bob talks to his
down the hill just as they
subordinates
come
at work.
Understand? Does everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ellis, you take the left wing, and when I give the command, I want the whole regiment to go forward, swinging down to the right.
They literally swept down and pushed the Confederates like into the rest of their army.
Move.
Here it is.
I mean, like, I just imagine myself.
We gotta watch that.
That's what happens at 8 a.m. every morning in my office.
I want that to be my ringtone every time. Bayonet! But I don't have my phone, and it's going off in a store like 100 times, and I'm like, where is it? Where's my phone?
You left it at your desk and went to the bathroom.
But like the reality of that
joke to
right
play.
there.
Put your head under a stall, and then someone looks down and go, bayonets! As they're shitting while wearing their football pads. That's a good bit.
Like
yeah.
that what precipitated that was they were literally out of ammunition. They were using rocks and shit to put into the rifles.
What?
To fire.
Why? They were told to hold the line?
Yes, they had to hold that part of the Union.
Yeah, why was that? Why did they have to hold it?
Because the Confederates would have flanked the whole Union line at that point. And it would have been endgame.
Like it would have been a Swiss cheese thing where they would just
they would have just rolled over the back of the whole Union line.
So they were holding them off with like rocks and whatever was on the ground.
Yes, and Chamberlain realized that they needed to do something because they held off I think it was 3 or 4 charges of General or Colonel Oates's Alabamians that were coming up the hill constantly and hitting them and then going back and hitting them, coming back and hitting them and coming back. And he said, fuck this, we're going down. And and it's actually accurate in the movie, the way he says we're going to sweep down and go to a certain side is because he wants to rush them over to the rest of, he doesn't.
Where there's more reinforcements?
Yes. Yeah. He wants to rush them over to where they're, they're weakest, essentially.
Oh, interesting. So that is accurate.
Not let them get behind them.
When Chamberlain's saying yo, we got to force them this way, that's accurate because they were more reinforced over that area.
Yes.
So if Bob, if you're geographically, if you're at Gettysburg and you're say you're at Little Bighorn or not Little Bighorn, Little Round Top.
Yeah.
Is that the woods, the ridge behind? Where is that exactly?
Have you ever been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. It's not woods. It was woods back then, but it's not woods now. It's kind of open land.
Right.
And, yeah.
Oh, so where they were in the battle, it was woods, but now it's just the open field.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not necessarily an open field. You got woods behind you, but you're on top of a ridge with an open field in front of you. And the way he wanted to sweep them down was to push them into the Union forces. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because they literally had nothing left. They were done. They were going to be screwed. Another charge? So you fix bayonets and you go down and you stab those motherfuckers. That's it.
If you're fighting with rocks and shit, it's done.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Play that again.
Bayonet!
Dude, I feel like that is a 90s thing. That they would make him redo that today. Because it's comical. Because he's
This was.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's
amazing. Okay, Clark, before you.
At the beginning and the end, his
Clark,
eyes get real wide. His eyes get real wide. And then
remember something here. This is literally 6 months. 6 months after he did Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey.
Oh, was it after Dumb and Dumber?
Smell it on him.
Amazing.
Yes.
I like that actor to the left. He was in Mystic River in 13 Days.
My favorite guy in that show is, if you keep it going, is Buster, who's already wounded. He's the older guy.
Oh, that's what I mean, Buster. Yeah, that actor.
I love it. Keep it going. Let him go down. This literally is insane.
I think we need to pick a day and watch the entire movie with audio commentary from Bob. I could listen to Bob talk about Gettysburg live all day.
Dude, I would
Nobody
love
wants
to do that.
No, no heels.
Oh, I want to do it.